It's Wednesday night and you're bored as shit. You've got nothing better to do, and you love your rugby league. So it's time to get online for League of Inches.
Welcome back, Oh, hang on a second. I forgot to press start. What a start this has been. Oh, goodness me. Sorry about that, guys. Got too excited listening to the drums. It just gets you going. That you hear that song and it just lifts you. It just wakes you up. It's fantastic. Absolutely love it. Welcome back to the League of Inches live show, the podcast. Wednesday night. Bored as shit if you are. Hopefully you're not. This is a big episode. Mid-season review. So every team is featured. So we're going to please every single team out there. So make sure you do come on. Have your say as well. We always value your opinions as we go. We want to hear and see your opinions. That's what this show's always about. A few outs, a few ins tonight. So we've got the three of us. No Adam Martin, who is apparently sick, cock off. Don't know too much about that if he is sick or not, but we'll go from that. Jez, I think he's playing soccer at the moment or football, however you want to say it. So good luck to him at the moment playing that. But Tyler stepped in with the regular crew, with Jesse also unable to make it tonight, just finishing work a bit late. So straight into it. Thank you, boys, for jumping on, having your say. Big episode, as I said. Tyler, so what we do each week here, we do a what caught our eye for the week. It can be either footy related or it doesn't have to be footy related. It can just be personal. You choose where you want to take it. So throw to you first, being the guest for tonight, so to speak. What caught your eye?
The thing that caught my eye this week had to be that Lomax performance. It was absolutely amazing. And I loved watching that game. It was great to see him just enjoying his footy again when he was under a bit of scrutiny. It possibly started at end of last season, start of this season. It's good to see him jumping over everyone and really performing well.
Yep, no, 100%. I agree with that one. Mika, what caught your eye this week?
I'd say the Lockie Galvin thing, footy related.
Yep.
Well, there's probably a lot to that story we don't know, but I guess me as a nearly 40-year-old now, I'm just like, going gets tough and young kids want to pull the pin and bail. So, yeah, I don't know. I hope we do get the full story behind what's going on there because it'll be very interesting. Not that I want to put me slipper into him too early without hearing the full story, but that was my first thought, to be honest. I just thought, the gun's got a bit tough and you're not ready for it.
Yep. No, it'll be interesting. I always say it. Us rugby league fans, as much as we don't want to admit it, we do secretly like the drama. That is our drama. It's like our missus watching Desperate Housewives or something. That's sort of what we get out of it. So we like to see this sort of stuff, even though it is all about the footy. But we do like to see a little bit of it. Yes, Mika?
And just quick, non-footy related, I went and saw Bad Boys 4 the other day with my missus. I finally got some time with her. And the movie was fucking excellent. So go and see that shit.
Oh, I cannot wait. It is on my list to do. I'm hoping to find some time on the weekend to scoot off and go and see it myself. Paul, sorry, just a quick one. Nothing's wrong with Goosey. He's been a bit busy. Normally it was on the Monday, but he had a late game of OzTag. That's what he plays. And tonight I think he's a bit busy as well. So he is around still. Don't worry. We're giving him a week off for now just to freshen him up, the young kid. I don't want to burn him out too early. Did Will slap anyone? Not bad. Can you confirm or deny this one? Don't give us any spoilers, but did Will slap anyone?
There is a fair few fisticuffs from Will Smith in the movie. I'm sure there was a slap at some stage. It's very, very good. Very good movie. I was cacking myself.
I can't wait to see it. Mine, don't want to bog myself down in it too much. Everyone's probably heard and seen stuff the last couple of days. I just want to talk about just making sure you live in the moment, guys. You never know what can happen, and all of a sudden life can be very short. So just live in the moment. Make sure you tell those you love constantly, and cuddle them, kiss them, and the like. Because, as I said, you don't know what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, and just make sure, please, live in the moment. Enjoy life. Like, just make sure you're having fun. Life's too short these days to get yourself bogged down. So please, yeah, that's what I'll say on that one. But moving forward, want to lift the show up tonight. Want to have a great show. Want to get everyone involved, please, as the viewers start to come on. Let's talk about the mid-season reviews. First up is I was about to say mighty West Tigers, but they're not very mighty at the moment. Haven't been mighty for quite some time. How this is going to go, guys, we're going to go through and talk about, we're going to have roughly about a minute each. That's what we're going to give each other. We're going to go through the player that's impressed the most so far this year, the player that needs to lift, just a quick thoughts on how we think the team is going, and then our predicted finish for the end of the year. And we're actually having an actual position because we're going to do a post about this later on. So Mika's going to have to get the pen and paper out to make sure he doesn't double up. So first up is the West Tigers. And Tyler, you're going to kick us off here. It's just easy to go straight to you than me, right? And off you go.
Beautiful. So players that's impressed me this year has to be Justin Olam. A lot of people thought that signing from Melbourne was going to be absolute flop. He couldn't get a look in at Melbourne at the end there, but he has been an absolute powerhouse in the centres for them. Person that hasn't impressed me so far has to be Brent Naden. He's come back into the fold and he's done nothing but give away penalties and cost them a lot of points and a lot of opportunities to possibly win games. I don't know what's going wrong at the Tigers at the moment. We did talk about that on Monday, but something needs to happen. Something needs to happen drastic before they actually do finish in last. If it continues the way it's going, though, I can see them finishing with the award of a wooden spoon.
So prediction, wooden spoon, 17?
Yes. Yep.
Mika, what do you got?
Yeah, I've sadly got them finishing in the same spot when you look at the teams around them on the ladder and how the other teams have the potential to perform. I think we discussed this about 6 weeks ago. We sort of thought who's going to get the spoon because we all had the Titans picked at one stage. And again, when you looked at the ladder back then, I thought, I think it's going to sadly be the Tigers again. I think Benji's coaching career is going to be over before it's begun. I really like the fullback. Is it Buller? Jerome Buller?
Buller,
yeah. I just think, like we were speaking about young blokes before who scared of hard work. He has never shied away from playing for that club. He loves that club and he gives it his all every game. I think Coruscant's doing his absolute best he can. I think a lot of people thought he would go there for the payout, but I think he's really put in the hard yards there. So they're the two players that probably impressed me for him the most. And it's interesting you talk about Naden. I've never really been a Naden fan. So I'm not really surprised with how he's performed. He's always been so up and down and has too many brain snaps. So yeah, he's probably been the bottom of the list. And I'll give a mention to Olam as well, like you did. I thought, he's been pretty decent too. So I hope they turn it around soon because I know we've been saying that for a few years, but the Tigers need to go well for the NRL to go well. There's such a big following there. A full Leichhardt Oval on a Sunday afternoon is an amazing thing to go and be at. So, yeah.
Yep, I agree. So for my player that's impressed me so far this year, I just think Api Coruscant, without him, I'm very, very worried about what this club would be at the moment. They probably wouldn't even have a win so far. So shout out to Api Coruscant. And unfortunately, the second place for mine is Lockie Galvin at the moment, and he's obviously been put through the media at the moment. Player that needs to lift, I've actually got down here Jaden Sullivan. He's came over from the Dragons on a very big money deal, and I just think he's been very, very horrible. They're not getting value for money whatsoever. No wonder they're already trying to shop him out. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes for the rest of the year, and if he does end up getting that deal to go to the Super League. Just quick thoughts around it. They're struggling. I keep thinking every year they can't go as bad as they did last year, and they find a way to do something. I'm at the point now where I just genuinely feel very sorry for the West Tigers fans because they are very, very loyal. They've got a very good supporter base in the competition, and I just feel for them. It's not fair for them to continually go through this, fork out the cash. The club keeps asking them for memberships and buying jerseys and stuff, and this is the shit that they get dealt with each and every year. It's just ridiculous. I hope they can find a way to clean things up quickly. Which unfortunately, I don't think the place is a quick fix. Though that's the thing I'm a bit worried about, and I think it's going to probably get a bit worse before it gets better. Predicted finish, I've got to say it's 17th from mine as well. Unfortunately, again, for the Tigers fans, I just think I don't know if there's any way up for them. Next team up is the coming 16th at the moment, the South Sydney Rabbitohs. So they've got 10 points at the moment. That's 3 wins, and they've had 2 buys. Mika, take us away for the South Sydney Rabbitohs.
Yeah, I don't think anyone could have really predicted they'd have such a poor start to the season, surely, based on their roster. I think probably not playing players in the positions they should have been didn't help. Latrell was a bit up and down. I don't think they're going to finish second last. I think now that they've got Whiten at 6, that solves a lot of their issues they were having. I feel like with a couple of games they've had, they're about to sort of start stringing a couple together because that roster is too good to be where it is. Players that have impressed me, this is a hard one. I'll go with players that should need to stand up first. So obviously, we know Latrell and Cody Walker need to lift. Walker had a good game last week. I feel like Latrell's had a couple of decent games. I still think he should be playing centre, but that's another story. Whiten's probably impressed me a fair bit because, well, I wouldn't say impressed me a fair bit, but I think I didn't know how he's going to go moving clubs and going there. I think he's been trying his hardest. And I think now that he's in the 6, we'll probably see the best of his footy again. So that's probably what I've got to say for South. They're on the rise.
What position you got him?
Well, they're not going to make the 8. Let's straight up rule that out. I reckon they'll finish above the Titans. They'll finish above the Knights. So what's that? 14. They'll finish above the Cowboys. I reckon they'll be around, let's say, 12th or 13th. I'm going to go 13th.
Not bad at all. Alrighty, for me, player that's impressed me the most, I've got Jack Whiten. I feel like he's probably been their saving grace so far this year. Every time he's been on the field, he has looked quite dangerous, even at that centre position. He's just created things, and he's been a real good spark for him. Player that needs to lift, I think it's Cody Walker. He did do that on the weekend, and if he can continue to play like that, I do agree to an extent with Mika. I think that the Rabbitohs can start to get on a small sort of run, but I'm just worried that they've given clubs too much of a head start, and the pen and paper's coming out for Mika. You love to see it. I knew it would. He's like me. He's a very much an old school paper and pen guy. I don't like this phone crap.
Yeah, I can't say the same team finishing in different teams finishing in the same spot twice. I'm gonna have to write this shit down.
Yeah, no, it's not good. Yeah, I'm very worried that they've started to the season has been that poor that I don't think they can get back too many positions. So in saying that, my predicted finishing position for the Rabbitohs is 15th. I think there'll be a bit of improvement, but I think they've got to start their run way too early. I think they'll hit a wall and sort of just halt and just be around sort of what they're doing at the moment. Tyler?
So players that impressed me so far, I'm going to go with Jai Arrow. I think he's been solid and led that front pack alongside Kaloa Matangi. Obviously, I know second row and lock, but they do kind of bounce off each other a fair bit. Player that needs to lift, I would also say Cody Walker, especially if he is going to be the captain of this team. He really needs to get it together. He just hasn't seemed like he's quite got it as of yet. And then I want to give a special shout out to Tane Milne. What he's still doing in that team is beyond me. I know they don't have great depth for centre, but Christ, you've got to have better than Tane Milne and Richard Kenner. Predicted finish is a hard one. I don't think they go above 13th. I'm going to say 14th for Rabbits. Just they're too inconsistent for me to go anywhere near anywhere near that kind of top half of the bottom 8.
Not bad shout out. We're doing pretty good saying in this minute, guys, so far. So shout out, credit to us all early on here. The Titans are next up, 15th at the moment, 10 points as well, 3 wins and 2 buys. Very up and down season so far for the Gold Coast Titans. When you think they're starting to find something, they go out and get smashed. So for mine, the best back, got to kick us off this time. Not the best back, sorry, the best player is from AJ Brimson. I think when he has played, he's been very good for the Titans, and they've looked a completely different team whenever he has been playing. And that shows to me, like we do our League of Interest Player of the Year, and he's actually featuring in the top 6 because he hasn't played all the games, but with the games he has played, he's been standouts almost every game for him and for in the game in general. So they need him to play. They need to find ways to maintain his body and make sure he's playing more footy games than he's not, and they'll be on the right track. Player that needs to lift, I think Tana Boyd. They're really screaming out for that extra playmaker, especially with Kieran Foran getting older. They just need someone there that can do a job, and I don't think Tana Boyd's job description has been too hard at all. He just has failed at achieving what his job role is still. It's quite, I don't know the word to it. It's shocking. It is. It's shocking. Mika, you got something?
Is it Tanner or Tana?
I thought
Genuine
it was
question.
Tanner, but I thought it was Tanner. Yeah, right. Okay.
Tanah.
Yeah, right. Genuine question. I didn't know. There you go.
Hey, let us know in the comments though if we're wrong. If it's Tanner and it's the way you pronounce it, let me know. I apologize. Predicted finish for the Titans. I've got him finishing 16th. They just seem to always have some injuries happening. They can't get on a run, and I just think it's going to be a year that Desmond's going to work some things out and then get ready for next year as an assault for next year. Tyler, let us know yours.
Player that has impressed me has to be Keanu Kinney. I think he's been great when he's had to come in. He's really lifted that attack as well as Lofi Pereira. I don't know why they had him dropped for so many weeks. I couldn't figure that out, and I still can't figure it out to this day. Player that needs to lift, I'm going to say Sam Verrills. He's been MIA this year. I haven't heard anything from him. No one's raved about him online. I didn't even know he was still playing. I was shocked when I saw him come off the bench this week when I actually watched the Gold Coast game, and they said his name, and I thought he'd gone to Super League or something along those lines. I think that they will go 15th because I'm going to drop the team coming up very shortly down to 16th.
Look out. Mika, what do you got for us?
Yeah, I think that the Tino injury was massive for them. I do think they have actually been playing slightly better footy than they have last year. So I don't know. I know their wins, losses don't really show that, but I just feel like at times they've defended a bit better and sort of wanted it a bit more. I really love Aaron Clark. I love the way he plays. He plays the same every week. And that motherfucker is from the streets, and if you were to throw down with him, he would punch portholes in you. I just love him. He's a man crush of mine. So, yeah, I'm always excited to see him play when he comes on. As you said, AJ Brimson has been doing well. I think Kieran Foran, for his age, still needs a shout-out too, and his injury history. Fafita's had a bit more of a solid year. Players that need to stand up for him, yeah, probably Tanner or Tana Boyd. They really need that half position ready to go for when Foran retires. Although I've seen the comments, they've signed a half from rugby for next year, so that'll be interesting. Where I've got them finishing, they're probably going to. Well, they're 4 points behind the Knights and the Cowboys. Yeah, I'm going to go 16th.
Not bad. Welcome to the 16th club. Next up, we're back to Tyler. It is the 14th place Parramatta Eels, 10 points. They got 4 wins and 1 bye so far. Tyler, talk to us. I'm sure we're all keen to talk about this one.
I'll keep it pretty short and simple, just because
Yeah, 1 minute, 1 minute.
we've got a minute, so I won't go too far deep into it. When Mitchell Moses has played, he's brought a new spark to the team. So he's been the player that's impressed me this year, except for last game, but we digress. Player that needs to lift. I haven't been impressed with Vladimir Greg when he's played. He looks unfit. And that's just not match fitness. He genuinely looks like he's chowed down a quarter pounder before he's walked out onto the field, and it baffles me, and I don't understand what it is. I think he's just a big boy in general.
It's carb load.
Our jerseys are way too tight this season. I hate the look of them, and it's not doing Greg any favors at all. Look, I know I'm not the fittest bloke in the earth, and that's why I don't wear the jersey. So I'm gonna chuck us 12th, just to make myself feel a little bit better about this season, but not get any crazy 09 run ideas.
Oh, goodness me. Good luck backing that one up, Mika.
Yeah, wow. You really knocked that one out of the park, didn't you? Players that I think need to lift. Dylan Brown. We've been hearing about his so-called path to stardom for years. I know he had a lot of off-field dramas and stuff. This year was supposed to be the year he was paying us back. Probably wasn't his fault entirely while he was at 7 because he's never been a 7. But like the weekend's game was a perfect example. He was non-existent. He just ran the ball, which I know he can run the ball, but he needs to do more. So I really think he needs to lift. His time is definitely now. Players I've been happy with. I've enjoyed Moses when he's played. I think him being injured is obviously a lot of the reason where we are. The other reasons being our edges. I think all our edge players need to lift, to be fair. That could not also be their fault, though. That just might be as high as they can get. Where have I got us finishing? Gee, I don't know. With our spine and our forwards, we should be doing a lot better than what we are. But whenever we can't tackle, we'll finish above the Knights. We'll finish above the Cowboys. I'm going to go 12th.
Oh, back-to-back 12th. Look out. Just while we're watching this, guys, I know I never do this, but I'm going to do it tonight. Give us a share. Go and write a little quick thing. Share on your Facebook account. I don't even think you can share on YouTube. If you can, please do. Just help us grow. Get everyone involved with the midweek show. Build a little community here and love who we've got now. And let's try to keep growing things. So get that share button. Hit it.
For every share we get tonight, I'll drink a beer on the bus on the way to Combank on Saturday night.
Oh, there we go. So just comment share as well, guys, so we can tally that. And I'll make sure we get some footage of Mika sculling some beers for every share we get on Facebook.
My brother will back me up on this. I will be the drunkest person at Combank on Saturday. You will hear me from Sydney Harbour.
Good. I can't wait for that. So make sure you share, guys. Share and let us know in the comments so I can save it, and we'll make sure that's filmed. For me, the player that's impressed me the most, and this is saying a lot because I've bagged this guy for the majority of his career at Parramatta, and I thought he's been very slack in a way. Bailey Simonson. I think he's been – I know our backs have been very poor this year, but I do think Bailey's actually seemed like he played every week with some passion, some pride with the jersey, which I've been asking for a long time. So really do appreciate that from Bailey. And unfortunate now we've lost him for the year because we needed those sorts of players. Player that needs to lift, Sean Lane. Seriously, bro. You had one half decent game all year, and that was last weekend. And certain fans want to act like you're the best thing since sliced bread all of a sudden, mate. You owe us for about 2 years straight of putridness. So lift your game, mate. You just get out of the club, if anything, please. Quick thing about the club. I've said quite a bit already. I don't want to get too bogged down in things. Just it's embarrassing where we're at as a club. It's disappointing where we're at as a club. We should be a powerhouse. I keep saying it, and I feel like not just the playing group, but the club as a whole don't have the same mind frame, don't want to be that powerhouse. And that's disappointing. We're playing as if we want to be avoiding a wooden spoon apart from and not playing like a team that should be challenging for a competition at the moment. And that, as a fan, is the most disappointing aspect of it. Predicted finish, I've got 12th as well. I'm in the 12th club, and I had all this written down before, so all three of us reckon 12th. Mika?
Just quickly on Parramatta, I know it's a bit sideways, but I saw a comment from someone I trust pretty well with news from the club at the moment earlier today. Someone was asking about signings. Now, obviously, we're getting no signings while we haven't even got a coach, but he responded and said there won't be any more signings after Lomax because they're investing heavily in the players they got coming through that won the SG ball comp. So I think that's the right path to go down for Parramatta. We need players who want to play for the club, who are our juniors, who are talented. So I know that puts things about 3 years away before we start seeing success again, but I still think that's the right path we need to go down. And I do think Lomax will help a lot with our backline issues. Him and Penasini as a centre pairings really makes me happy.
Yeah, I agree. The way Lomax is going, I've almost got to just keep him on the wing, but that's a different story. Next up, 13th, the Newcastle Knights. Now, the next couple of guys, we've got to make sure we stick to that minute mark to make sure we've done this within a lot of time. So for the Knights, 13th, 14 points, 6 wins, 7 losses, 1 bye next to their name. Tyler, up first. Actually, no, sorry, you just did the first one. Mika up first, this one, for the Newcastle Knights.
Right. Players that have impressed me for the Knights. That fullback that played on the weekend did pretty well, I thought.
Fletcher Sharp.
Yeah. He was pretty good. I haven't seen a lot
Only
of
played
the
one
Knights
game.
games. I know. But I was about to say, I haven't seen a lot of the Knights games. I thought Gay Guy's been going really well. I thought he was unlucky not to be in the Origin team. Players that need to lift would be their halves. I say that all the time. Whichever half they've got in for that week. I think their defence has actually gotten a lot better this year. It'd be interesting to see how they go towards the end of the season, but I feel like once it gets to the point where they can't make it, they're going to teeter off pretty quickly. So I've got them finishing. Let me have a look at my ladder. Behind the... Oh, Jesus, I can't figure this out now. Let's go 15th.
Look out. For me, the best player so far for this season for the Knights has been Dane Gagai. I think he's been outstanding for the Newcastle Knights. Player that needs to lift, I've got Jackson Hastings. I just think if he's going to be there in their 7, needs to really lift with that team and guiding him around the park and making the right decisions. They really need his leadership there. It's just been a weird season so far for the Knights. They're sort of haven't really set the world on fire. Certain parts have actually looked a better football team without Kalen Ponga, which is very weird to say. And that first couple of weeks when he got injured, they just seemed to play like a team again. So it'll be interesting what happens when Ponga comes back. No doubt they need his spark, that they are missing that. But I'm keen to see what Fletcher Sharp can do at the back there. Really keen. Tyler?
Newcastle, I've got down Kai Pearce-Paul. I think the Englishman's been really, really entertaining to watch, and he just runs his heart out, tries his hardest. His passing game and his offloads are awesome, awesome stuff to watch. A player that needs to lift, Phoenix Crossland. He's I know he's been dropped back to the bench this year for Jaden Brayley a lot of the time, but the last few games have been absolute stinkers dropped by him. And I can't blame the coach for dropping him back to the bench at this point. He's just been horrible last few games. I'd love to see him lift again because when he is on form, he's a very good player. I've got Newcastle finishing 14th this season. I just can't see them getting any higher up on the ladder, unfortunately. I'd love to see them get higher, because it's a team that I'm probably closest location-wise to, and I'd probably go watch a final at McDonald Jones. But
Marathon Stadium.
yeah, whatever it's called now. I still know it as McDonald Jones. But yeah, they're not going to go any higher than 14th this year.
Go, Mickey, like you're about to burst.
No, when I said 15th, I actually crossed that out pretty early and had 14th. I just want to clear that up.
Okay.
So, sorry,
Thank
can I
you
just
for
comment
clearing that up there.
on something here, Joel?
Yes.
Josh in the comments, I'd trade Lussick for a Snickers bar, let alone cross it. So let's just get that straight. It's not going to happen.
I'd trade Luthick for a bag of dog shit. But anyway, we'll move on. Cowboys next. They're sitting in 12th. 14 points, 7 wins, 7 losses. They haven't had a bye yet. They're the only team at the moment that has not had a bye, any of their buys. So whether that's making them sit in a good position or not, unsure. We'll probably find out how we all think in second. Me up first. I've got their player that stood out the most, or impressed me the most, has been Scott Drinkwater at fullback. I think he's been fantastic for him for the majority of this year so far. Player that needs to lift. I've got Valentine Holmes. I know he is playing Origin, so this could come as a shock, but I actually think his club form has been a lot lower than it has been in other years. And I was actually surprised that Billy Slater stuck loyal with him and picked him. Obviously, he paid Billy Slater nicely but with a good display at Origin level. But again, he came straight back to club form on the weekend and was pretty poor defensively, I thought, and didn't really do much with the ball either. A quick thought about him. I actually think Todd Payne's the next coach sacked. I just think he's exhausted his playing group. I know they're 7-7 and there's better teams below them, but I think as you look at this playing group, this roster, and it should be a guaranteed top 8 team no matter what. And the fact that they're not doing that and they're risking at the moment not finishing in the top 8 is a huge concern. My predicted finish for them, I've got them 11th. I don't think they'll be able to turn much around and do too much to what they're doing at the moment. I think they'll just keep going win-loss type thing and probably lose a few more than they win in the run home. Tyler?
Player that's impressed me from the Cowboys, Fini Fuiaki. I think he's been awesome this season. His running game, runs his heart out yet again every game. He's very, very good passer of the ball. He actually has really good defensive reads as well. If you actually sit down and watch how their line defends, a lot of the gaps that are actually stopped or covered by Fini Fuiaki. Player that needs to lift. Where do I begin? I mean, you've got Chad Townsend, but he's never really lifted in the first place. I'm going to stick with Val Holmes as well. He's really dropped off this season in form. Seems like he doesn't know, unfortunately, how to pass the ball. I know he is a strong bloke and he did play NFL for a brief, very, very brief period of time. So that's probably where he gets his confidence in his running game. But you've got to pass the ball to the winger. And I think we've seen it more kind of last week and this week with Burns on his outside. I don't know whether he trusts Burns more than Semi Valame or what the deal is there. But he really needs to pass the ball more. So where I have them finishing, this is where the big one comes in. I have them 16th. I have them dropping straight down. As soon as Peyton gets sacked, I can't see them lifting or doing anything special for the rest of the season. Look, they have talent, and if they can get it going, then they can get it going. But after I saw what I saw against the Warriors, I have no hope for them. Unfortunately, they just look flat. As you said, Joel, they've exhausted this playing group, and something needs to change.
I need you to lift here, brother. That was way over your 1 minute. And next, this is a warning. Next one, you'll be going for 10. You'll be getting a sin bin and we'll be playing a man down. Mika, before we go to Mika, make sure you share, guys, this video because Mika will scull a beer for each share.
Oh, I never said scull a beer.
Share it. Nah, I'm saying it. We're going for that. Mika, what are your thoughts on the Cowboys?
Yeah, beginning of the season, I didn't think they'd go too well, and I think they're probably sitting higher on the ladder at the moment than I thought they would. They're just often hard to beat up at home, I guess. But I agree, Payton will be the next coach sacked. I think Val Holmes is a player that needs to lift. I know he's had a decent couple of games in the last couple of weeks, but before that he was pretty ordinary compared to what he can do. I think Dearden's been pretty good for him. Cotter's been pretty good for him. Obviously, Drinkwater has been good for him. But even Drinkwater, I think, has had a not as good a year as last year. I just think that Payton is in a very similar situation that Brad Arthur was at the Eels. He's done what he can with that club. His message is stale. I think he's an arrogant motherfucker as well. And I just think, I don't think they're getting the heat that they deserve, considering they were in a prelim the same year that Parramatta made the grand final. Cowboys did nothing last year. They're going to do nothing this year. I've got them finishing 15th.
Well done, mate. That was about 5 seconds over your minute. You did well then. You did. I'm actually impressed with that from you. I'm very impressed. That's a small win. I'll take that. 11th, the Manly Sea Eagles. So they're sitting on 15 points, 6 wins, that draw they had with the Warriors, and they've had one of their buys as well. Tyler, we're back to you.
Players that's impressed me a lot this season is probably young Lehigh Hopewadi since he's been in. I think he's done really, really well covering that fullback position. I know he's only played a few games, but he's been awesome to watch. Player that needs to lift. I'm going to go with Luke Brooks here. He needs to take on more responsibility. It seems like every play they just go to Cherry Evans for the kick, and there's just no. It's too readable at the moment. I have Manly finishing 13th. I can't see them getting kind of anywhere near the top 8, but they're a team that's very unpredictable.
Mika, what do you got for us?
I thought Manly would be doing better than what they are currently. I think once we get out of the origin period and DCE's back there full time and whatnot, I think they'll sort of go pretty good. They're always hard to beat at home. DCE's having, I swear he gets better every year. Like, he's going to play till he's 40. So he, obviously he's been their standout player for me. On Brooks, he's done about what I thought he would. Like, he went there and got told to catch the ball and run. The first few games, he looked happy to be away from the Tigers, and I think teams just figured out he's going to run the ball every time he gets it. So his form quickly petered off there. So he probably does need to take a bit more responsibility, given that he's been a half for a long time and can offer more to that team. The second row that played Origin, what's his name? Olakau'atu. Yeah, I thought he's had a pretty good year. So they're in 11th now. I've actually got them finishing 9th.
Oi, look out. I agree with Cherry Evans. I think he has impressed. But who I've gone with, I've gone a little bit outside the box. I've gone to Ruben Garrick, and he does annoy the shit out of me. And but what I do like, he's had his first year at centre, and I was questioning that. I thought he was an out-and-out winger, to be brutally honest, and maybe here and there at fullback when they needed him. He's done very, very good at centre, both in defence and attack. So I've really enjoyed watching him do his craft this year and continue to evolve as a first-grade centre. Player that needs to lift, I've actually got Jason Saab. Everyone talks about him being that winger that's quick. I mean, in the NRL, it's all good to be quick, but you need to have a bit more strings to your bow, I feel like. And he's relied early on in his career when he got to Manly for Turbo. Turbo's now been injured for a lot of the remainder of his career at Manly so far, and I just feel like he's been pretty quiet. He needs to start lifting, taking a lot of those tougher carries and helping that Manly forward pack out with some tough runs like some of the other wingers do. Just a quick comment. I agree with what a couple of you boys have said so far with regards to the fullback depth. I think that's been resolved now with young Hopewadi coming through. And you don't forget Cooler can also go back there and do a very good job playing that as well. I've actually got him finishing 9th as well. So me and Mika, I don't know what we've done here, but yeah, I've got him 9th as well. Next up, is the New Zealand Warriors 10th. Started to get on a bit of a run here, up the Wars, 15 points for them as well. Same as Manly, 6 wins, 1 draw, and 6 losses, and they've had 1 bye. Mika, take us away.
This part of the ladder is very hard. I've got like 7th to 11th as who the fuck knows, right? I've got the Warriors in there. It's been disappointing for me. I know people always say that the Warriors, when they have a good year, the next year they have a bad year. I didn't think that was going to happen this year. I thought Sean Johnson has really found the part in his career where he's really dialed in when to run and when to play smart game management type footy. I know he's been out for a couple of weeks now. I think when he gets back, they're going to get a few wins together. They're starting to look a lot better now. RTS, I think, I probably, that's harsh because he just come back to the game. I expected a little bit more from him. I thought seeing him with good early ball in the centres every week would be a bit more predominant than it has been. I mean, he's still playing good footy, don't get me wrong. I just think he can offer more. DWZ, I think he puts in every week. I've always impressed with him. Fanua Blake, I think him as well. He
Bam.
Yeah, no, he seems to be up and down and up and down. Like, if he could sort out his off the field stuff, I think if they can sort that out, they'll make a run. I've got him finishing 8th.
Tell you what, this is going to get a little bit freaky here. For mine, the best player that's impressed the most, Goosey's going to just love me for this. I'm actually going to say Mitch Barnett. I think he's been sensational this year, and I can't believe I'm saying it because it just opens the door to, I know at some point in the next 24 hours in the group chat, he's going to lose his shit. Player that needs to leave, I actually think Kurt Capewell. He came over there, and I was really excited by the signing. I thought it was a very smart signing, but mixture of injuries and just I feel like he hasn't been his best self this year on the field, and I think that's really been lacking for the Warriors, and they've missed him. They need him to really be putting on his best foot forward on the field for the Wars. They are looking. The one thing I want to quickly touch on is that the fact that they've looked better with some of their less experienced players on the field, and that is a great thing for a club to happen to them, because what that does is put a lot of pressure on the senior players, because now you've had these young kids come through and get 3 or 4 games experience and do well. The coach starts to think as they get closer to the business end, oh, hang on, I've had these guys have played before and they actually did a job. You older players, you may have been a bit comfortable at the start of the year, but you better start lifting because I've got these players ready to go, and you need to lift as well. So that's a good thing for a club when you've got that good depth coming through that are actually performing as well. Predicted finish for me, I got 8th as well. I actually did the ladder predictor, guys, so this is all done beforehand. I've got him coming 8th. Tyler?
Player that's impressed me, I've said it several times since I've been with the channel, Charles Nicoll-Klokstad. I think he's awesome. Love his running game, love his effort. He has it every game. I haven't seen him put in lack of effort. I don't think back when he was at Raiders is probably the last time he stopped trying in a game. Player that needs to improve. I know he had a really good game on the weekend, but Rocco Berry has been a bit quiet for me this year, which is unfortunate because I know how talented he is. As well as Wade Egan. He's had injury problems, and unfortunately that can't be helped. So I don't want to throw him under the bus too far. I have Warriors sneaking in the 8 at position 8th, just purely for the fact of them getting on a run.
Look at us go. We are killing it, guys. I'm very proud of us. And Tyler, that was absolutely perfect. Just for Paul and others with the questions, we will get to questions. I'm starring them, so keep the questions coming in. We will get to them at the end of the show. Next up, sitting 9th at the moment, the St. George Illawarra Dragons. I'm shocked we haven't got to them yet, that we are here now. 16 points, 7 wins, 6 losses, and only the 1 bye so far. I believe we're up to myself. Let me just quickly, as I'm talking, I'm going to get it up. Here we go. player that's impressed me the most, no surprises here, and I'm so glad my club has signed him for next year, is Zach Lomax. He's just been sensational. Dummy spitting for majority of the year so far has not looked happy at all, and to perform the way he has, I can't wait to see what he performs like when he's happy. So can't wait to see that from Zach Lomax. Player that needs to lift, Sid, one of our guys on the panel as well, loves this bloke, thinks he's great. Not Blake Laurie. I think he needs to really lift and start to become a bit of an intimidating forward. He just seems to I don't know, just takes a ball up, gets smashed, and does it for 15 minutes, then goes off. It's just sort of, it's like a meh sort of play. You get nothing really out of him. The thing that stood out to me as well is the fact how they can be either so good or so bad. There's like no middle ground for this team at the moment. They're either getting smashed or they're actually smashing a team and doing up a really good performance. So pretty good finish just because of that. And I think some of the good teams will start to flex their muscles as we run home. I think they'll lose a lot more games than they'll win. I've got them finishing 13th. Tyler?
Yeah, so my star player is Lomax as well, from the Dragons. He's been awesome this week, and backing up every week. And as you said, I'd love to see how he plays when he's happy. I really hope that he wants to play on the wing at Parramatta, considering we're looking at sifting out Sivo from the car fire. Player that hasn't impressed me this year, Tom Eisenhuth. I thought that he would have done a lot better than he has, and he's another Blake Laurie that just runs it up to the field and just rolls over. I have them sitting 11th, purely for the fact of if one of their backline goes out, their main backline being Sloan, Lomax, Hunt, they're done for.
Mika, what do you got for us?
Yeah, they're probably doing better than I thought, to be honest. I guess they're getting that typical, they're getting a bit of that toughness that I guess Flanagan was known for about him, defending a lot better than they have most of the time in previous years. Obviously, you can't go past Lomax for standout players. I don't think anyone could have seen this form from him coming into this year, except for my mate Lewis, the tallest man in the world, who has been banging on about Lomax for years and calls him his boy. So he was probably not surprised. Players that actually I want to give a shout out to Kyle Flanagan as well. Like, not that he's been setting the world on fire, but I think he's been playing his role in that team perfectly and very consistently. And I think he has actually added to that team quite a bit. Players that need a lift, I'd agree with Blake Laurie. He's a plotter. Oh. I reckon my brother could do a better job in front row than he could. Where have I got him finishing?
He's a skirt.
Yeah, I know. Where have I got him finishing? 11th.
Oh, you two again. This is getting a bit uncanny. There's a lot of similar thoughts out there. Tyler, start us up with the Brisbane Broncos. They're currently 8th, 16.7 wins, 6 losses, and 1 bye.
People that are writing off the Broncos so far are delusional. They forget how good they were last season and how good their end of year form was. I have as my standout player, I think Ezra Mam's really turned it up this season, as well as Pat Carrigan. He's really impressed me this season. They're both constants in that team, but both always do a job. I don't think I've seen a game this season where I could say that they haven't tried. Player that needs to lift for me would have to be Cobbo. I don't see the hype about him. I understand that he's a good runner of the ball, but I swear as soon as this bloke gets predicted to, go in for 3 tries this game because they're versing an easy team, nothing, and it drives me up the wall. That being said, however, I have them finishing 4th. I think that they're going to make a late charge and get into that top 4 slot.
Mika, let us know what your thoughts are.
I've got him finishing 4th as well.
It's
I'd-
ridiculous.
I'm denied about that one for a while too. Players, I actually, and I'm going to say Ezra Mem as well. I think he's really stepped up in Reynolds' absence.
Oh,
Not that he played
I'll
poorly
sit out.
last year. Yeah. Players that I think need to lift would be, I reckon, Stags. I think he has a bit more potential in him yet. I've seen him just go beast mode on the field so many times. He just needs to do it more consistently. I think they've got too good of a roster and they had too good of a year last year to not make a bit of a climb up the table once they get all their players back on the park. They'll win most of their games at home. And yeah, I think they'll jump a few of the teams that are above them and end up finishing fourth.
Yeah, I'll echo what you boys are basically saying. I do think they'll get on a little bit more of a run after this Origin period, and they got all their troops back week in, week out. They seem like they're one of those clubs that are very tight. They're a very tight playing group, so that'll help them. Just their fire will get fueled once again, and they'll know they're here to try and win that premiership. I do see a couple of holes in their game at the moment, which we can talk about another episode, but I don't think they're as untouchable or as good personally, but I definitely think they could be a top 4 team. Player that stood out to me, I've got 2, and this is going to be an interesting one. I've got Paddy Carrigan as one. I think he's been sensational, just week in, week out, doing the hard yards for him. I actually put down Selwyn Cobbo as it has impressed me because he's a player that's gone to the centres. He's a new position there, and I actually think he's had a good crack at it. Granted, he has to still improve, no doubt about that. I agree with that. But for someone who's still very young to be going into a centre position where, especially defensively, it's such a tough position, especially after a win, just so that you get to sit on the wing and just put the ball down. I think he's done a very good job. So I'll little shout out there to Selwyn. Player that needs to lift, I've actually gone Tony Staggs as well. I just want to see him get involved more. I think he can be a great centre in this game. It seems like there's a lot of games where he just sits out the back and just gets lost. He just you forget he's even on the field. For a player of that talent, you want him touching the ball. Predicted finish, would not believe this, I got him 4th. 4th as well. So that's sensational. Here we go. The Bulldogs 7th, 16 points as well, 7 and 6, 1 bye. Mika, you're starting us off here, and I reckon I'm going to anticipate about 15 minutes to go, guys, with this.
Bulldogs, they have improved a lot defensively. I wish Parramatta had the commitment in defence that the Dogs are showing. I still have questions about their ability to get into the attacking zone. They seem to saw a lot of long-range tries with that back line. That's understandable. Even in the game against Parramatta on the weekend, I felt like they didn't get into our red zone unless we helped them there. They were the better team, though. Let me say that as well. Because of that, and because I still think they need a genuine halfback as well, I've actually got them finishing 10th. I think Crichton's been outstanding for him. There was a couple of years I used to bag him out at Penrith and I didn't get the hype, but I'm quite happy to eat my words on that. I think he's been their standout. I think Reid Marnie's actually had a really good year for him this year as well. I thought last year he was a bit shaky for him after the changeover from Parramatta, which is understandable when you've been at a club for so long. Players that need to lift, whoever is playing halfback for him. Is it Toby Sexton at the moment?
Sexton.
Yeah.
He's only been in one game, however.
Yeah, if he stays
I think
there.
you mean Hutchinson.
Well, whichever one is in, whichever one's going to be in there for the rest of the year, that position needs to lift and help out Burton a bit more.
Oh, goodness me. Player that's impressed me so far, the most, Matty Burton. I think he's been very good for the side this year. Controlled it, and I've always questioned him as a 5'8". I think this year is the first time I've actually sat back and thought, okay, he's doing a job. He's doing a very good job there at that position. Player that needs to lift, I've actually gone Drew Hutchinson. He was now dropped, so I guess he does have to lift and try and get back into this team. My predicted finish now, I'm going to start this off by saying I think they're positioned 7th to 10th. On my ladder predictor, I've got it separated by literally one win, 2 points. That's how close I think the ending of this will be. I've actually got him finishing 10th as well. So this is ridiculous. It's getting just out of hand now. I promise we have not looked at any of our predictions before this, but I have them sitting 10th as well. Tyler, what do you got?
I've got as a player that's impressed me this season. I've got Sherry. As soon as he came in, he made a difference on that side, along with Kiraz, just in the strength department. I know, obviously, he did have some help in his, kind of early career with some banned substances. However, he's come back and proved to everyone that he is still as strong, if not stronger. With hard work rather than that. A player that needs to lift for me, shockingly, is Drew Hutchison. I have a friend who's a Bulldogs fan, Tom. I'm pretty sure you'll be watching anyway. And he's been screaming for how many ever rounds we have now. I think it's 14. Hutchison needs to be dropped. Sexton needs to be brought in. I know Sexton is quite small and doesn't have much strength, but it's got to be better than Hutchison running at 2 miles an hour. So I shockingly have them sitting 10th as well. They will have a late season drop, and they will drop out of the 8.
Yep, I agree. Is that someone that knows you, Tyler, in the comments, or
Which one?
is that your
Rugby league
full name?
history.
Is that we?
No, I have no idea who that is. I don't know whether they're meant to say
Okay, I was going to say,
Bertrand
don't
or-
publish our full name, please, guys. I don't know. Even
Do you
if
two
if
not
it
know
is
who
someone
Tyler
that knows
Durden
you-
is? Do you
No,
two
who
not
is
know-
it?
Tyler Durden. You don't know who that is?
No?
No, I was not trying to go for Tyler.
He had a Fight Club. Brad Pitt's
Oh,
character had a
okay,
Fight
sorry,
Club.
guys.
Right.
I can't remember. Sorry, too young.
Too old for you.
No, I'm not. Too. Yeah, sorry, rugby league. Sorry. I need to go to bed.
Oh, I got it. I got it.
Yeah. 6th position at the moment, Sydney Roosters, 16 points, 7 wins, 6 losses, 1 bye. Who's up now? I think it's me. I think we're back to me, aren't we? I believe. So, yeah, we are. I'm bringing up what I've got for him. I always lose. I hate going when it's me first because I lose my way. I've got it all nicely planned out, and then it hits me, and then boos. Player that's impressed me the most so far, I've got Angus Crichton. I think he's been sensational this year after obviously going through his personal battles to come back and be the player he now is. I think he's incredible. Player that needs to lift purely out of the fact of the long suspension that he had. I think it's Spencer Leniu. Now, he has come back and been very, very good. He just owes the club a lot. That was a long suspension for something stupid, and that should never have been said or done. Whether people say it happens all the time, whatever, it should not be done. It should not be the reason why someone says that. He owes the club a lot, and he needs to make sure this back half of the season he's huge for the Roosters. Predicted finish, 5th. I think they're right in the battle with this, and I'll go out and say with that 5th, I think they can be the first team that wins the comp outside the top 4. I don't think they need to be in the top 4 to win the comp. So, Tyler, what do you got?
Player that's impressed me, I'm going to go against rugby league history. I'm going to go Dom Young. I know he had the very, very, very stupid first game where he did get, or first or second game where he did get sent off and got suspended for a few weeks. But his running game on the wing, he's really unstoppable on the wing. And I'm absolutely terrified what he's going to do to us this week. But we'll see. Player that needs to lift, I'm going to go with Tupou. He's good in the air, but he seems to have just lost his way a bit in attacking prowess. I feel like Young's taking a lot of that shine off of him, which is unfortunate because I think Tupou can still do a job in any other team that doesn't have Dom Young on the other wing. Being able to kick to him but those two are luxury. I have them finishing 6th. I think that, yet again, they can be a team that will go far in the finals, but I don't know whether they can win at all, as I say.
Mika, what do you got?
Players that impress me, I'm going to go Angus Crichton and probably Joey Manu. Although it's just criminal that Manu isn't playing fullback at some club every week in the NRL. They're at 6 at the moment. They always seem to be a team that always comes better at the end of the year. They always run into the finals. So I've actually got them going from 6 up to 3rd. Look, you look at their pack and their bench, it's really strong. Lenu back is going to make a massive difference. Crichton's had a great year for him and really found form again. I noticed today he put forward what he wants for his next contract, and he wants that car they were going to offer for Feeder, so that gave me a chuckle. Yeah, I just think they'll be there at the pointy end. I've got them finishing 3rd. Too good of a roster.
Give him the car. Give him whatever he wants, I say. They're going to give Feeder that. He's probably in better form than for Feeder. 5th at the moment, the Canberra Raiders, the Green Machine. 18 points, 7 wins, 5 losses, 2 buys. Tyler, what do you think of the Green Machine?
The Green Machine is going to go down the slope. They're going to finish in 10th, in my opinion. I really hope that they have a drop off in form, as I sound so confident in this. But they're a team that can either be really on or really off. And if they get an injury to someone like Matt Timokor or one of their halves, they're going to be absolutely buggered. I don't think they have the depth there anymore. Player that's impressed me has to be probably KO Weeks, since he's come over from Manly. I think he's been awesome so far, playing that 7 role. Player that needs to lift, I'm going to probably say Seb Chris. I don't personally like the bloke, but he's been a bit quiet for my liking, and how he usually runs and usually draws penalties. He's just been a bit quiet and seems a bit more complacent this year. And yet again, I have him finishing 10th.
Mika, what do you got for us?
Well, I love to hate the Raiders. I hate their coach. I hate most of their players because of just how arrogant they look and carry on. I hate that it's freezing cold in Canberra. I hate their green jersey. I hate the whole milk thing. I just love to hate them. In saying that, they have massively exceeded what I thought they would have done this year. And I know early season they were just playing simple, error-free footy. They were doing it ridiculously well. Fogarty had a big deal to do with that, with his game management, which I think went really up a gear this year. When he was injured, I thought they were done again, but their young halves have massively stepped up, and I think that's a testament to where modern NRL is at the moment. I think it's very much about young players who are fit and fast. I think we've seen a change in what wins NRL games, and it's young, fast, fit players who are committed. So I've actually got them finishing 7th, though. I think they're going to slide a little bit. I don't think they can maintain what they've been doing for the whole year, and I just think there are better teams that will go above them. Players that have impressed me, that halves, Strange and Weeks. Jordan Rapana, I hate that guy. He's the biggest flog in the NRL. Players that need to lift, I reckon. Elliot Whitehead, again, he's been solid, but I just think he's done a lot more in previous years. So he's probably not quite where he normally would be. I thought being a senior member of the team and the youngness of the cross the park for them, I thought he would have had one of his stronger years. So that's probably what I've got to say on the Raiders.
Yeah, I've been very impressed with the Canberra Raiders. I feel like just the spirit, the attitude at the club at the moment, that they're gritty, and I just wish that was qualities that my team had, and they unfortunately don't. So you watch them and you're just a bit jealous in a way. They've got on paper, I don't think it's a great roster, but they just make it work, and that halves pairing should not be doing much at all, but here they are just in most games and winning close ones and the like. I've got the player that's setting out the most is Ethan Strange. I think he's been sensational this year. Player that needs to lift, I've got Danny Levi. I just think he needs to create a bit more out of dummy half and help his halves a little bit more, even though they are handling it. I just think teams might work him out, and he needs to be able to sniff around the edges. He doesn't get to work versus Parramatta each and every week, guys. There's an inside joke that he smashes Parramatta every time he plays them. So if you want to get the edge on Parramatta, just sign Danny Levi. My prediction finish is 7th as well. I think they'll drop a little bit, but they'll stay in the 8. I think they're coming 7th this year. Mika, start us off. We're into the top 4 now, so not long to go, guys. Bear with us. Get involved. Have your questions ready to go, and I'll get them at the end of this. The Dolphins are sitting 4th. Who would have thought? 18 points, 7-5 record, 2 buys. Talk to us about the Dolphins.
Just one more thing, sorry, on the Raiders. I hate that stupid clap and how we're forced to watch it every time they're on TV. We don't get to do that for any other team. Fuck that clap off. Righto. It's not even their clap. They stole it. Dolphins. Typical Wayne Bennett coach team. They're doing all the simple footy things well every week. I thought their whole halves issue would come back to bottom this year, but the Katoa has been phenomenal. The calmness he shows for his age is just next level. Always so calm. I think even someone like Mitchell Moses could take a thing or two from his book when they're attacking at times. I've got him finishing 6th. I just think, again, like the Raiders, I just think there are teams that will fire and will jump them, not to take away from the Dolphins, but players that have stood out for me, obviously Katoa. The Hammer has been phenomenal. I thought Herbie Farnworth's a really good buy. Scrolling through the team, there's not really many players that I would say need to lift for them, really. Like, I think they're all doing really good jobs for them. Marshall King. Yeah, I can't pick a player that really needs to lift. Help me out here, will you?
That's all right. Yeah, I'll
Plus, they've got the tin of soup, Mark Nichols. He's been fantastic.
He doesn't need to lift. He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. For me, I've been so impressed by the Dolphins, their fitness. They look like such a fit football team at the moment. And their depth has actually surprised me. They've got quite a bit of depth this year. And it's anytime there's a player out, they seem to just fit in someone else who does the job. And it's great to see. Could be a fairy tale happening for Wayne Bennett. Who knows? Player that's impressed me the most, I've got to say Isaiah Katoa as well. I think he's been sensational this year. And his age and his maturity factor, just how much he's... Don't forget, he started the year in Queensland Cup. He didn't start round 1. He was dropped. And to come back from that and just prove how much he wants it is a credit to him, while someone like Galvin's trying to get out of the club and have a bit of a sook. Anyway, player that needs to lift, I've actually gone Jake Averillo, who started the year pretty poorly, was in and out of the team a lot. He has started to get a lot better. I'll give him credit for that. I just think he needs to continue that and keep lifting for the back half of the year and prove the money that he's on for the Dolphins. Predicted finish. I got him 6th as well. This is getting out of hand here, but up the fins up. Got him 6th. Tyler, what do you got?
Look, you guys have covered my points pretty well. Obviously, Katoa has been awesome this year, but I'm going to put the MVP on the GOAT, Mark Nichols. He's been awesome this year. The player that needs to lift, it's really hard to pick one. I'm going to say Kaufusi probably needs to lift up a pair of clippers and just clip the back of his head a bit. That is absolutely atrocious what is on the back of his head. Kaufusi, I love you, but man, the hairline's gone back to China. Please just let it go. It's weird looking at the back of your head sometimes when you're playing.
See, his son got the same haircut.
Yeah, it's a choice. It's a choice. Yeah. And I have him finishing 7th, so only one off you boys.
Finally.
For those who don't know, we call Mark Nichols a tin of soup because he just rolls down the field all day. Unwavering, undented, a tin of soup. Condensed tomato soup.
Does not stop. 3rd place is the Penrith Panthers at the moment. Sitting well, looking like they're ready to pounce. For mine, just the fact they win ugly, that's just the standout for me every year at the moment. They just win games. They just know how to win. And I'm just so jealous that my team is next door to them and just are so the opposite at the moment. But anyway, it's not about my team. It's about Penrith. Their best player for mine has been Dylan Edwards, hands down, class above. Pretty much the comp for mine at the moment. He's just been absolutely sensational on another planet, it's fair to say. Needs to lift, I think, Isaac Tungo. I think he had one or two games early on that were really, really good, but then he's just sort of plateaued. Like I remember this time last year, he was in the conversation for Origin as a smoky and being in that blue sort of backline. But this year, there was a centre spot potentially there while up for grabs in game one, and he wasn't even mentioned. I just think that's sort of how far he has gone down at the moment in form. My predicted finish for the Penrith Panthers, I've got him finishing first for the regular season. I think they'll just continue to win now. Nathan Cleary's coming back. Bring him on. Scary that they'll just probably go to another level. Liam Martin will get back fully fit. Yeah, I'm scared. Tyler?
I'm going to go with the play that's impressed me the most. Paul Alamotti. He coming from the Bulldogs as a why the hell are you signing him? But as a cover centre, he's been awesome. I've loved watching him play recently, as well as Sione Taruva. I think Tigers have a real good buy there. Obviously, if they can stop treading at the bottom of the ladder. Player that needs to lift. It's really hard to pick out of this squad. There's not much. If Luai can probably lift his attitude, it'd be a lot more interesting to watch the Penrith game. But there's no one that really screamed out to me apart from Tunglaw as well. He's just kind of plateaued recently. I've got him finishing second, just being pipped by another team. Mika, on to you.
You're on mute, Joel.
Mika.
Right, I'm going to go Dylan Edwards as me shining light of the Panthers, which is a hard pick because they got so many good ones. I really like Fisher Harris as well. It's very hard to pick a player to lift. I'm going to go Nathan Cleary because he's been too interested in women to get back to full fitness. Chicks will do that to you when you get shacked up, see? He's not going to be the same when he comes back, trust me. He's already thinking about going to Super League so he can be over there with her. No. What about Jerome Luai's hair? It can lift up off his shoulders into his headgear because I'm sick of seeing his hair get pulled every week and players getting penalised for it. If you got your hair out, it deserves to get pulled. Probably To'o. Not that he's playing bad, but I just feel like he hasn't been on the highlight reels like he has previous years. He does all the hard yards though, so I'm grasping at straws here because they are so good across the park.
God almighty.
I'm gonna have him. Well, it's different. Like he's still doing all the tough stuff that he does so well.
He's a tough one.
No, but I just feel like he doesn't have as many as those really nice looking tries that he's had of previous years. So as I said, that's desperate. Like, come on. I would have him in my team every day of the week. Because he could show Sivo how to run. I'm going to finish in second. I don't think they'll finish first this year purely because of Mary Fowler.
Look out. All right, Tyler, take us away for the second place at the moment. The Cronulla Sharks, 22 points, 10 wins. First team that has gotten to the 10-win bracket, actually. 3 losses and only 1 bye. Take us away.
Player that's impressed me from the Sharkies, I have to say, Gun Kyle. He's been awesome to watch this season. I've really enjoyed watching him in the centres. He always does the hard yards, never really complains, which is just great to watch. He's not seeing the kind of older blokes in the game looking for penalties. He just runs. If he gets hit high and it doesn't get called, he gets back up and runs again the next tackle. His work's unreal. Still needs to work on defense a little bit, but that comes with being 20, 21 years of age. Player that needs to lift for me, I think that's probably Royce Hunt. Apart from the last few weeks, the start of the season really didn't do much for me. He is a battering ram, and I understand that he's not there to score tries. But I feel like if he just put in a bit more of that kind of power that he has in the middle of the field, he could definitely go over for a few over the games. I have them going into third. I think that they'll have a little bit of a drop off, but I think they'll definitely finish in that top 4.
Not bad at all. Mika, what do you got?
I've got them finishing 5th. I mean, I still think we talk about it all the time, the favourable draw, how they can't really play too many games consistently with the top teams. I think they've changed the way their forwards play this year. I think they used to be a team that had pretty much the same forward over and over again, but they've signed a bit of diversity there this year with playing styles. I think their bench is phenomenal. I just think I've got the Storm, Panthers, and Roosters above them, and the Broncos. So player that's stood out, obviously, Nico Hines has had another great season. Hazelton for me, he's been phenomenal. Players that need to lift for him a little bit. I don't know. Not really sure there. That's another hard one. It's hard when you get a team that's consistently winning games. Who do you want to lift? Like, yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna leave that one as well.
Oh, it's all
Sorry.
good. You might be able to think of one when I'm going. The
Yeah.
Sharkies, I've been impressed with their ability to beat a couple of these big teams so far. I didn't tip them for any of the games that they did win, and they ended up winning them. So they surprised me with that. The Penrith game was a bit of a step back, and I just thought, oh, hang on, is this the Sharkies of old? But then to win that game on the weekend against the Broncos, I thought was quite an impressive win as well. The player that's impressed me the most, I'm with Mika. I've got Tommy Hazelton. He has been sensational this year, and honestly, his form is right up there. He would not look out of place on the bench at the moment for the Blues coming on doing a job. He's going that well this year. Player that needs to lift, I've actually gone Will Kennedy, who I think has been pretty off for his standard. And just think with Atkinson there not in the team at the moment, he showed that he is a first-grade player. I think there's a bit of pressure now. They've got Atkinson, you've got Cade Dykes as well in the lower grades doing his thing. There's some younger talent coming through now. And Will Kennedy, for mine, he's not an exciting fullback in my opinion. He sort of just does his job and that sort of it. I just think they might need to have a bit more from their fullback moving forward. And I don't know, maybe I'm completely wrong here, but I just think Will Kennedy's days are numbered at the Sharkies as a fullback. So predicted finish, I got him second.
Yeah. Defensively, I think he needs to improve. You're right. I agree with that.
Can he also
Defensively, for
smile
sure.
every once in a while? He looks so miserable every game. It's awful.
Oh, goodness me. All right, let's finish up here. We've done a pretty good job. I don't know. My calculation must have been off, or we've just yapped sometimes and gone over.
We took 15
Melbourne
minutes
Storm
to start.
Yeah, Melbourne Storm are first, 22 points, 9 wins, 3 losses, 2 byes. That's why they're up the top. Where are we going here? Mika, your first here for the Storm.
I've got them finishing first. I just think they won the games early, like not by a lot of points, but just really tough games that they somehow scrape wins out of. And I just think early in the season, that's a sign of a team that's going to go a long way, because by the end of the season, those games will count and they'll have improved lots. So yeah, I've got them finishing first. I've got them winning their game 1 final from finishing first, so I reckon they'll make a prelim at least. Players that have impressed me: Xavier Coates. I really enjoy watching him play footy. The things that man can do in the air and his finishes are ridiculous. Players that need to lift. I feel like Jerome Hughes' decision-making hasn't been as good this year as it has in previous years. Not that he's playing bad. It's just something that I've noticed. I don't know. There's a lot of times where he usually nails things, and this year I'm like, he kind of rushed a bit. Maybe it's because he hasn't had Munster there with him as much to take a bit of the heat off him. I don't know. Yeah. When they get Pappenhausen back and whatnot, I got them first. I think they'll go well.
the thing that stood out to me a lot about the Melbourne Storm again this year, just how together they are as a club. They're just all know what's happening. They're all together. They're all in sync. They're still a very scary proposition. And to think that they've done most this year so far without at least one of their big guns at all time, whether it's Pappy out or it's Munster, someone's always been out, and it's scary if they can get those four spine members playing together at the back half of the year, the damage they can do. Best player for mine that's impressed me the most, I've gone Eli Katola on the edge. I think he's been sensational as an edge forward this year, and one of the best edge forwards, and really, really impressing me. His game has just gone to that another level since the Storm have signed him. Player that needs to lift, I've gone Nelson Asafa Solomona. There's been a lot of talk about him potentially getting moved on at some point, just not getting bang for buck. I just think for the money he's on and what they're trying to get out of him, he needs to be more than just a bench player that comes on and plays a 25, 30 minute stint. He needs to be on there and playing some bigger minutes. I'm just been not being very impressed. I've got him finishing third. I think they're going to be they're right in this title fight. They're, no doubt in my mind, they're a top 4 team. They're going to be in it to win it. As I said, if they can get their four spine members together on the field for as long as possible, they'd probably go up to winning the thing. I'm right up there for the Storm. I'm just worried about those bigger games towards the back half of the year when it's like Penrith have Nathan Cleary back and the like. They might just be missing that little bit without having like a Munster there, or if Pappy's not back, things like that. So, Tyler, you can have the final say on the Storm and the round review. The mid-season review.
2009 still haunts me to this day. That was one of the kind of first years I knew what football was. I am still quite young, but I have Melbourne finishing first this year. The way that they've been playing, if Coates is any, at least 5 less times good as in bed as he is in the air. His wife is a lucky girl. But I have Tui Kamakamika really ripping it up this season. I've been really impressed with him. He's gotten a lot of errors out of his game. I feel like that was one of his biggest issues last year. I have him finishing first this year. I think they're going to dominate for the rest of the season. I don't think having Pappenhausen back is necessarily a must for them. I've been enjoying Fa'alongo, and Pappenhausen can seem to only get a string of 10 games anyway. So, unfortunately, I've just kind of given up on Pappenhausen as much as he is entertaining. Unfortunately, the blokes just seems to be made of, breakaway glass.
You're my boy, Stua. Keep killing it, brother. You're my boy. That's it for our mid-season review show, guys. I hope you have all enjoyed it. There was a question coming. If you are listening still, you have a couple of questions you want to shoot through. We'll go for a couple of minutes and just quickly get through to them. I know Andrew loves to send through a couple of the fun ones. Whatever it is, footy-related, a bit of fun, get to know us a bit better. Shoot them through. We'll answer them. So the one that I start here from Paul, if you are still watching, Paul, appreciate it. Who do you guys hope we get as coach? I hope Josh Hannay. Obviously, this is referring to Parramatta, all Parramatta fans here. And I don't think we've heard of either of your thoughts actually on the coaching situation for now. So, Tyler, do you think Josh Hannay is the next coach, or you got someone else?
I'd like to see someone like Hannay come in at the top level coach, but I would love to see Birdie come in as assistant. I know that the Benji experiment hasn't gone the way that a lot of people thought he would, and I really don't want to sour the relationship between Birdie and the fans, because I know when I started watching football, he was one of my favourite players. I still dream of getting that special jersey to this day, but they're so hard to find. It is unbelievable. I spend nights looking for them. It doesn't exist. It also could have been just a fever dream. I don't know why. But I would love to see someone like a Bird come in and take the reins in a few years after getting a bit more, first grade under his belt. I don't think we should rush him in like Benji has been. but I feel like he could seriously do some damage. I would love to get Hindy in as well, but he's never going to leave his gig at 9. He's got it too good.
Mika, what are your thoughts?
I change my mind every single day. Sometimes I think, yes, someone like Hene or Riles would be perfect because of, they've both been the next big thing for a while. I think out of those two, I'm probably leading towards Hene because he's just got a bit more in his resume, whereas Riles has just been at Melbourne now for a while, and the last Melbourne coach that came to us didn't do very good at all. But then sometimes I think, no, we need experience, and someone like that McDermott bloke from England they mentioned, my issue with him is he has ties with Mark O'Neill, who I think should be as far away from our club as possible. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think any ex-players would do the job, so I'm not a fan of Birdie and Hindmarsh as much as they love the club. Chika, again, just because he's like just a different game, like maybe as part of a coaching, like an assistant coach or something, maybe, I don't know, because I've got no doubt he knows how to lead men. But so I guess after saying all that again,
bonging over in the Pyro Cave.
Yeah, I guess after saying that out loud again, I'll probably go Hene. Won't be disappointed if we get Riles though.
I'm a bit like Mickey, and I think it's because if I'm being brutally honest, none of the candidates at the moment really do it for me. And I just feel like they're not what the club needs. And I think that's why I don't know. I just think the club should be up here, and we just seem to be going for people that are a bit down here, and it just sort of doesn't sit right with me. It's not my preferred choice, but if I have to choose someone on the list at the moment, it probably is Josh Hene. He has had some good raps from those around the Queensland camp, those at the Sharks, and that say he has a great rugby league knowledge, speaks quite well, good messaging, good thought, good footy brain. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there, but I'm just nothing excites me with the remaining candidates at the moment. Finish on this question. Good fun one to end the show with. What's everyone's favourite movie genre, and if they have one favourite movie? I'll go first. Let the boys have a bit of time to think about it. I don't have a favourite movie genre. It just depends on the mood and stuff. Like comedies are great, action, sport movies, all the like. I don't mind either of them. My favourite movie of all time is Remember the Titans. I love that movie. That gets me. I could watch that every single day and would not affect me whatsoever. My second one, The Lion King. That just for me is a GOAT movie. That is all time, and I absolutely love it. So that still stays with me, and I could watch that every day as well. Tyler, what do you got?
I'm going to go with my favorite genre being horror. I love a good horror movie.
Oh, yeah.
Anything from the Friday the 13th, Scream, anything like that. Love it. But I'm going to go more towards I'm a TV show guy. And I'll rewatch the same TV shows pretty much every year. My favorite TV show is Sons of Anarchy. I rewatch that every year, and I cry every single time I watch it, several times. And I'm just about due to watch it again. So that's why it's popped up into my head.
Nice. Mika, what do you got?
I can't pick one genre. It depends what mood I'm in. Action comedies. I love watching a sappy movie with me missus and bawling my eyes out. The Lion King, you mentioned that. I could watch The Lion King now and cry every time when Mufasa dies. I happy cry too, but like the happy parts in movies, I cry. I'm hopeless. Favorite movies are probably like Die Hard 3, Pirates of the Caribbean, Speed, that sort of shit. Yeah. So I can't pick a favorite genre. Sorry.
No,
I watch a lot of movies with my missus.
And the Bad Boys series, you love the Bad Boys movies as well. Go to get out and see that, guys. Can't wait to do that myself. But thanks for listening, guys. We're going way over time, so appreciate everyone sticking with us. Hope you enjoy it. Podcast listeners, hope you liked the episode as well. We will check in with you guys Sunday night for the round review show.